Coming at you from the Rye TV studio is the Rye Sports Report. On our last episode of 2015, we wrap up the spring season, sit down with sophomore golf phenom James McHugh, and as always, end with a new Pro Sports edition. Stay right there, RSR4 is straight ahead. Welcome to the Rye Sports Report for our fourth and final episode of 2015. I'm Matt Shaneberg.
And I'm Dylan Leahy. Let's get started.
After a 2014 campaign that included a section title and state final appearance, hype surrounding the baseball program was higher than ever before. Under the leadership of Captains Sam Lubeck and Tim DeGraw, the Guards lived up to that hype, as they finished with an 18-2 regular season record and a league title. During the year, the Guards saw some outstanding play from mainstays such as George Kirby and Chase Pratt, as well as great contributions from first-time starters Matt Bruno and Ryan Chardello, both of whom received all-league honors. Bruno, Chardello, and DeGraw all posted batting averages exceeding 400, while Kirby continued to baffle hitters with his 90-mile-per-hour heater, producing 7 wins, 0 losses, and a 1.33 ERA. With the number 1 seed in Class A Section 1 playoffs, the Guards mowed down Pearl River, Harrison, and John Jay, setting up an anticipated matchup against second-seeded Byram Hills in the section final. Unfortunately, the Guards came up short, losing a heartbreaker to the Bobcats 4-3 at Provident Bank Park. All in all, however, the Guards' season was far from a disappointment. While they didn't reach their ultimate goal of back-to-back section titles, Rye produced 8 All-League players, along with 3 All-Section in DeGraw, Kirby, and Pratt. Perhaps the most impressive achievement is that Rye has now won 44 out of its last 52 games. With 13 incoming seniors and many returning starters, look for the Guards to be right back at the top of the standings once next spring rolls around.
Rye's softball team finished up with a 9-10 record, but not before breaking some long-standing records. Led by captains Amanda Yannette, Emily Antonazzi, Kira Nemsick, and Amelia Haddad, the squad went on to beat Lincoln High School in the first round of the playoffs before losing to the number 1 seed Brewster in the second. Perhaps most impressive were the accomplishments of Nemsick, who now holds 8 records. Nemsick's standout season at bat propelled her to over 100 hits in her high school career, and she also broke the record for most stolen bases in a single season, and in a career. Yannette and Antonazzi broke the previous record for most RBIs in a season, and all 3 players received all-league titles. Losing 7 seniors in 1 year will be tough, but these departing seniors have more than enough confidence in the rest of the team's ability to be dangerous next spring, with 3 returning honorable mention all-league players.
To talk about the boys' golf season, our reporter Dane Monahan got a chance to sit down with sectionals champ, sophomore James McHugh.
Take it away, Dane.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with James McHugh to talk about the Rye boys varsity golf season. So, James, you guys are coming off a tremendous year. You were 14-4 and won the league championship. What are some of the key factors that played into that success?
Well, we had a lot of returning guys who spent, many years on the team and have brought a lot of experience and leadership to the team. And then mix that with, we had a bunch of incoming freshmen who really did contribute and help out the team. So that just really all led to a great season.
Awesome. Well, this year you had 5 sectional qualifiers, Matt Shaneberg, Will Gladstone, Jack Maresca, Max Kenny, and yourself. Mm-hmm. Of the 5, 4 returning, so clearly you've got a ton of young talent. What's it going to take this year in the off-season to really come back better than ever next year?
A lot of the guys are really driven and really practice and play golf on their own time and love the sport. So, I have no worries that they'll all improve immensely over the year.
So as far as individual stats go, you had the 3rd best differential in the section, you won the section title, and you were 14th in the state. Just for you personally, what are some goals and aspirations moving forward?
Well, I'm setting a goal for next year that I want to have the number 1 differential in the section, and then hopefully I want to repeat as the section champion and then, go on to states and hopefully win that too. So, those are my 3 goals for the next high school golf season. And, as far as long-term goes after that, I want to eventually make it to a Division I college for golf. So.
Okay, well, thanks so much for joining us, and good luck with all that.
Thanks, Dane.
And as for the girls' team, they finished 14-2, qualifying Erin O'Brien, Frida Henningsen, and Simone 14 for sectionals. Henningsen finished 2nd in the section and qualified for states for a 2nd year in a row. That's all we got out here. Back to you, Berg.
Thanks, Dane. Led by senior captains Noah Spaeth and Drew Abate, and boosted by some young talent in the form of the freshman Chabot twins, the boys lacrosse team had some high expectations heading to the spring season. Before the season even started, Coach Brian Dooley described the team as a great group of unselfish players who are showing an understanding of the team game. We are not a deep team in terms of numbers, but we have talented players from top to bottom. With that in mind, the Garnets rocketed into the Class B playoffs, earning an impressive 3 seed with an 11-5 regular season record. In the first round, the Garnets matched up against a tough Pearl River squad, but Rye was more than ready for the challenge. The Garnets coasted by the Pirates 15-6 due to 2 goals each from Mike Dugan, Billy and Peter Chabot, and Chris Kovacs. However, the second round pitted the Garnets against a staunch Somers team, and the Garnets were unfortunately sent home a little earlier than hoped. With rising seniors Theo Breslin and Dan Bonaventura already named next year's captains alongside junior Will Hinson, look for a deep run next year.
Behind the leadership of Duke-bound captain Charlotte Tucci, the girls lacrosse team captured the league title with a perfect 8-0 league record and finished the season at 12-4-1. Some notable regular season results include 2 wins against arch-rival Byram Hills and a huge victory over powerhouse Mamaroneck. Along with Tucci, juniors Abby Abate and Micheline DiNardo both had stellar seasons and helped the team secure a 3 seed in the playoffs. After a first-round bye, they beat Byram Hills for the 3rd time, propelling them into the section semifinals, where they would lose to a talented Somers squad. Expect Abate and DiNardo to carry the team even deeper into next year's playoffs next spring.
The boys rugby program's first season as a varsity team proved a great success. In true underdog fashion, the Garnets rugby squad quickly became one of the school's most successful teams. Many of the young, inexperienced players were met with the challenge of learning to play the sport while also being forced to step up against bigger, more experienced opponents. However, the new Garnet squad was ready for this challenge. Under the leadership of Patrick Condon and upperclassmen Jose Sosa and Santi Mascolo, the team managed a strong 4-3-1 overall record, going 2-1-1 in their league. Condon led the team in tries and overall points, serving as a driving force for the team.
The girls' rugby team also had a breakout season this spring. In its first year as a standalone team, the girls' squad finished with a dominating record of 4 wins and only 1 loss. Although there aren't many teams in the New York area right now, the girls dominated whatever competition they were met with. The team saw help from juniors Alessa Rayford and Kate Bird, who were able to bring experience from playing with the boys' team last season. Other key players include Katie Zom, who is the team leader in tries, and kicker Lily McGinty. Although they only had a small team of 10 players this spring, the girls are hoping to gain support to really build a solid program in the years to come. After such a standout season, it doesn't seem like this should be a problem going forward.
Led by all-section player Andrew Emanuel, the boys' tennis team put up a 5-6 record and competed hard in the playoffs. The doubles team of all-league players Johnny Emanuel and Andrew Burke made it through the first round, but eventually lost to the top seed in the second. Alex Trediak and Mahir Bala, also all-league players, had a bit more success, making it all the way to the 3rd day of matches. Ranked 3rd in the conference, Andrew Emanuel qualified for sectionals, but lost a tightly contested match to a number 1 seed who would eventually reach the state quarterfinals. With a near undefeated JV team and a plethora of experienced underclassmen such as Guy Junkins and Andrew Graham, look for Coach Dixon's Garnets to have more success next spring.
Under the leadership of captains Ryan Bird and Maggie McDermott, the track team had yet another successful season this spring. The team's strong senior class went out with a bang, winning the Mamaroneck Relays for the 5th straight year. Rye saw strong performances from its distance medley relay team, which set a new school record with a time of 10 minutes and 26 seconds, and from Maggie McDermott, who broke her own record for the steeplechase. At the end of the season, the Garnets were able to send 11 competitors to the state qualifier meet. Although no one qualified for states, the meet has strong performances from the trifecta of Ryan Bird, Jack Ryan, and Maggie McDermott. Although Rye will lose a talented senior class at the end of the year, juniors Jack Ryan, Alec Miranda, Ian George, Julia Nabhan, and Allie Murphy hope to keep the winning tradition.
To report on the crew team season, we sent out Owen Moore to the marina on Milton Point. What's going on, Owen?
Hey Matt, so I'm down here at the marina where the Rye crew team gathers for practice every morning. After an exceptional season last spring, our rowers hope to keep up the same dominance this year. Led by seniors Jack Smith, Jim Palmer, Allie Sullivan, Kiefer Mueller, and Brendan Ferries, the Rye crew team had yet another great season. These seniors, teaming up for the last time, put in some strong performances, allowing them to compete on the national level. Individually, Jim Palmer had a standout season, winning the state singles race. Although we are graduating a lot of talent to this senior class, there are hope for future seasons. Youngsters like the freshman 8-boat and a lightweight duo of John Daly and Adam Rudolph Math, who went on to compete the national regatta, show promise for the future. That's all for now. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with the pro sports section.
We as a company offer some words of advice given a public service campaign that we've embarked on over the last several years called It Can Wait. Some of the tips that we offer are fairly common sense related, and the key one is keep your phone out of reach.
Great.
Put it in your glove compartment, in your trunk while driving. Another thing is just be mindful if you are a passenger and the driver is texting. Don't let him or her get away with it.
Okay.
Call them on it. That's important. AT&T has also developed a drive mode. We call it a drive mode app, in which it's essentially an out-of-office message. When somebody texts you while you're driving and you're going over 15 miles an hour, they'll receive that out-of-office message.
Great. You don't have to think about it. It's automatic.
Absolutely. We also say, sort of in a more mirthful way, create a playlist that you enjoy. Get, just so your mind is on driving and possibly on your favorite songs,
Right.
but
That's a great one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here today. And
Thanks
some
for having me.
helpful tips for all of us.
Welcome back to the Rise Sports Report. I'm here with Will Caldwell, Dom Gorneri. We're going to discuss the biggest scandals in the sports world today. So guys, the biggest scandal is obviously FIFA. Corruption, bribery have just ravaged the most powerful sports organization in the world. The 2022 Qatar World Cup is a huge issue between working conditions, bribery, and playing conditions. Do you guys think that is going to have to be moved? And if so, what are some possible locations?
I believe that putting it in Qatar in the first place was a terrible idea. Temperatures can range well over 130 degrees on the turf. But that being said, construction's already started. I think it's not unfair, but it's pretty tough to say, here, you've spent millions of dollars already on building stadiums. We're just going to move it now just because we messed up.
Yeah. Morality's sake, I think it's smart to move because obviously, hundreds of people are dying
Thousands.
in these terrible conditions over 130. It's going to be terrible for viewers and for players, but just for practicality's sake, I mean, Brazil lost money during their World Cup, and now all the extra cash spent on doing a whole new location, I just think it's not practical for them to move it.
Okay. So the next scandal is UNC. So UNC has had so many issues, and its reputation has taken a hit. Fake classes, phony classes, giving out A's for little work. What does this mean for the school with such a renowned reputation?
I think this scandal is equally as damning for the NCAA and UNC, just because the NCAA says it has all these regulations, says it's monitoring all these schools, but in practicality, once every 5 years, they go on a crusade after one specific school, and the rest of 120-some Division I football schools are left doing whatever they want. The NCAA needs reform, not UNC. They need to restrict their laws and regulations.
Yeah, every top 25 team in big-time college football and basketball could be sanctioned under these rules. Every school is giving out benefits. Every school has people giving them extra help in the classroom or even taking their classes for them. It's commonplace in today's wild west of the NCAA, so to speak, with millions of dollars being transferred under the table from boosters or other high-profile millionaire and billionaire fans of their schools. I mean, just to name a few in the past, the U with Nevin Shapiro, USC had a scandal with Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart. It happens at basically every big-time school. The NCAA needs to put down harsher regulations or even just restructure the code that can allow players to earn their market value or some sort of compensation.
Next topic is Deflategate. Patriots, if you've watched ESPN in the last 6 months, you've heard it plenty. So Tom Brady's got suspended the first couple games of the year. Do you think it's righteous? What's your opinion on the matter?
Blasphemous. I think it's totally out of place. Roger Goodell is hungry for power and control. I don't think Tom Brady had anything to do with Deflategate. Do I think he told his ball boys, hey, you need to get this to the lowest PSI possible? I think he yelled at them. I think he texted them constantly saying, I need them at this lowest range. And I think the ball boys took it on their own, but we're just going to underflate them, you know? I don't think we're going to get caught. And I don't think Tom Brady explicitly said cheat. I think he was saying push the boundaries, but I don't think he ever told them to cheat. So him getting suspended 2 games, 4 games, however many games that it's eventually going to settle on is ridiculous.
I think by the end of it, he'll probably get down to 2 games because he's Tom Brady and it's the Patriots, and he's arguably the most powerful player in the NFL.
Or it's Tom Brady and he's innocent, yeah.
I'm not going to get into that. That's a separate argument, but it's well known within the NFL and football at high school, college, and pro level that quarterbacks and receivers and other skilled players like the balls deflated, easier to catch, easier to throw. Other NFL QBs have come out and said that, oh yes, I deflated balls back in when I was playing. Just so happened that the Pats have this bad rep from Spygate and from Belichick being like kind of a shady coach that wins all the time. I do think that some kind of suspension was deserved there for Tom Brady because those text messages are pretty damning. It's not kind of an outlier in the NFL, but the evidence is the evidence. Goodell, especially coming off the Ray Rice and Greg Hardy scandals, he wants to really make a statement by really laying down the hammer. I think some kind of suspension was warranted.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. That's all we got here at the Rise Sports Report. This is our last episode, of course, but we will see you next year. Before we end, we're going to leave you guys with a list of all the college athletes and where they're going.